Today I have opened in Photoshop a new image that we're going to spend a little time working on. And I want to work on this image because this particular cross-country team back in 2014 had not only won the league championship, but they also won their district championship. Unfortunately, at the league championship, the athletic director did not have medals for all the runners for the boys. They all contributed to the win that particular year. So what I wanted to do for the coach was I wanted to create a picture so they could post this on Twitter that evening where they had medals on my son and Brian Gombarski and also medals for the coaches. So here's what I did. I decided I would try to find a medal that I would be able to select. This particular boy is angled a little bit oddly, so it's a little difficult to get a good capture of this medal. This one isn't bad, but crossing over the white created some problems. The best option in looking at all these medals was actually this particular young man. His medal is not interfered with by any other individual, and it's on top of the maroon, so it makes it stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on that particular medal just to kind of make it so I can easily select it. And I'm going to use probably a couple of different selecting tools here, but I'm going to start with a quick selection tool, and I'm going to change, I want this to be about probably 10 to 12 brush width wise. We don't want it to be too wide. So I'm just going to click up here at the top. I'm going to drag down, and you'll notice it's getting some of the red. It's getting most of the metal here on the edge. And I also want to get up here. Plus, and we're going to get up here, and we're going to go down, we're going to attach the blue and the outline of the red. Now once again, the technique that I'm using today is really a copy and paste, but this particular technique, if you do it right and you are able to capture everything properly, can be very, very powerful with what you can do. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just bring down the selection on, I just want to get the actual metal itself. That should be good enough. I do not want the maroon there, and it sort of gave me a little bit of what I want there, but that's okay. I can correct that with the lasso tool. It's going to be a little difficult, I see, so just bear with me for a second while I work on getting this all selected here. Okay, so now my goal is to get this little blue strip here selected, and I'm going to go back in real quick and I'm just going to bump this over. Okay, right there, and I'm going to bump that out of it up there, the white, and I'm going to get rid of his neck color in there too. I'm going to go into the lasso tool, I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to continue to hold it down while I drag inside of that blue area and loop it back around to make sure I have all the blue there. And same thing on this side. Do the same thing, go down through the blue and loop it back around up to the top. So I now have all that selected. That looks pretty good up there. I'm just going to go around that white spot up there at the top. And I'm going to use the lasso tool, but this time I'm going to hold down the Option key, and that will allow me to remove different sections. So, for example, if I want to remove this section here around the gold post, click out here. I can go down closer to the individual pixels of that, and I can remove it. Same thing down here. I'll get the outline or the shadow of the metal. And same thing here. I want to remove these frames, so I'm holding the Option key down, which will give me a negative effect. You also notice there's a little minus sign in the lower left corner of, or the lower right corner of the lasso. What that means is that means that it's going to remove pixels, not add them. And I'm going to remove these right in here as well. So now I have just the metal itself. So I'm going to copy it. And you'll notice I'm on the background layer. There's only one layer currently. I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to go back out to about 250%. I'm going to start with this young man in the black. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the edit menu and I'm going to go to just paste. Nothing special, just paste. When I paste it, it pastes it right over the original one. I click on the move tool and I can move this right down. Now I have that lined up pretty much around his neck, but using the move tool, I can use a Command T and I can drag this over a little bit and get it to stretch out. And if I rotate it just a little bit, and maybe come down with that a bit, and swing that a little more, move this up a little bit, and I double click when I'm done, and there we have a metal on that runner. Put one on Colby here. I do a Command V. This time it's going to paste it more towards the middle of the screen. So if you're looking for it and you don't see it, yeah, may have to run and find it. Notice there's another layer now. This was layer 1 was for Brian, layer 2 is for Colby. So I'm going to do a Command T. Take that. I'm going to rotate it slightly. Bring it over and up a little bit. Now, any additional things that I want to do, like if I want to edit this out a little bit, I can actually go in, I can double click on it, and it will only be working on this layer, layer 2. So I'm going to sort of follow his neckline over his shoulder, just sort of go up, and I can hit the delete key and remove that upper portion of the metal. I can also in here, oops, I'm going to remove this part right here a little bit. It's a little dark and it doesn't belong there. Okay, actually I think it does. I think that was the blue that was in there. It's just sort of awkwardly shaped, but I can still get it down there a little bit, I think. Cut that little edge off there. It makes it look a little more natural. So what I've done is essentially I've added 2 layers and now given all of the runners an actual metal. This can be done numerous times with a variety of different things. A lot of times professionals will use Photoshop to make those types of changes, to take off imperfections or to add things that should be there that aren't. Today, what I would like you to do is, I'm going to have you work on this in class. I'm going to have you pick a photo from an online source, one of your favorite individuals maybe, and I'm going to have you insert yourself next to them. I wanted to show you this real quick. I'd come across this in an online source today, and I was on Duran Duran's website. I'm just opening up this preview here, and you'll notice in the preview it has the band pictures. These pictures the band has used pretty much since the beginning of 2016 when they released this Paper Gods album. And today I had seen this, and I thought this was rather interesting. If you notice, the lead singer, while it looks like he's sitting in the passenger seat posing, it's the same photo. The keyboardist, he's in the back, same pose. Drummer, in the back seat, same pose. Bass player, driving the car, not his hands, but the same exact pose. What I would like you to do is, I would like you to find a background with your favorite individual, and then I would like you to insert yourself with that favorite individual. So let's say if they're maybe throwing a baseball, maybe you should be in the background catching it. Or if you have a favorite star that you like that's on stage, maybe you can be on stage singing with them. This is an exercise in copying and pasting into an original photo. Sometimes you have to post, for example, the drummer here, This was a paste into. They highlighted the seat, the edge of the seat. They did a whole area around here, selected that, and then they pasted his image into that particular area, forcing it behind this object. So if you were going behind an object, you'll need to use a little bit of paste into. This is a fun activity. I expect you to take a day and sort of work on something fun and creative. Have a good time doing a copy and paste of yourself with your favorite individual.